Hey, I'm Brian.
I'm Kaylene.
And this is our veggie patch. Welcome. Now today we're going to be talking about carrots, how to grow carrots. Who doesn't love a good carrot? Bugs Bunny loved his carrots, didn't he? That's
Salads,
right.
Roasted, steamed, anyway.
Smoothies, raw
smoothies,
in
true.
smoothies is
Great
how I love to have them,
smoothies.
or a good carrot juice. So it's really, really easy to grow carrots, so I recommend you do it. Now, I've heard people say, well, you can buy carrots cheap, why would I bother growing them? Why? Is because you get to actually grow it yourself. You know that it's chemical free.
Yes.
You can pull them, they're out of the ground, they're
They
fresh.
taste heaps better.
They haven't been stored for months as
Yes.
well. And they're such an easy thing to grow, and they're quite attractive as well.
Yep.
So this is our carrot patch here. This is our bed that's 2 meters by 1 meter in size, and we've got lots of carrots planted in here. Let's have a look at, where's our carrot seedlings that I bought here. So you can buy seedlings of carrots like this one here. We'll just bring it in close with the camera, and you get lots of carrots in the seedling punnet, or you can grow these yourself. But we don't recommend you actually do it this way, because what you'll end up with is lots of kind of very
they'll
twisted
fork because
carrots.
Carrots like soil that is super light.
Yeah.
And lots of compost. Oh no.
Compost is good. Compost is
compost.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, but not too much
Bit
nitrogen.
of sand, no rocks, because you don't want your carrot to hit a rock and then fork. And so the same thing happens when you plant them from that, because you're disturbing the roots, so then they'll fork and go off.
Yeah. So what we recommend you do is that you sow the carrot seeds, they're little tiny seeds, straight into the actual bed.
Yep.
You dig a little trench about a centimetre to 2 centimetres deep, and then you lightly sow. You want to aim to actually get about 1 seed every couple of centimetres. That's very hard to do because they're very small. So you had a little trick that you can do with
you
that.
can just mix it with a bit of sand, dry sand,
Yep.
and then just kind of sprinkle it in, or you can use our beautiful seed
Or you can use the
dispenser.
seed dispenser as well. So the idea is you don't want to plant too many seeds in there, because you're going to have to pull a whole lot of them out, and because they don't transplant well, you're going to have to throw them away. But you could use them in a salad. You can actually eat the little carrot seedlings.
When they're very tiny,
When they're very small, you just throw them straight into the salad as well.
Yep.
Or otherwise they go into your compost heap as well. So I don't recommend buying them in punnets like this. Far better to use the seed. Now, carrots, when can we actually grow carrots? What are our time of year?
So in our area, we're in Sydney, so a temperate area. So we can grow them from spring to autumn.
That's right.
But then if you're in the subtropics,
if you're in the
it's the
subtropics,
opposite. So from autumn to spring, and then if you're in
the
bit more
tropical
tropics,
areas where it's really warm all the time.
so sowing in autumn would
Only
be great.
in autumn for the tropical
Otherwise
areas.
it gets a bit too hot for them.
Yeah. Now the seed variety that we supply in the Aussie Gardener seed range, when you buy like the autumn winter seed pack, that particular variety of carrots you can basically grow all year in the kind of temperate and cooler areas. You'd still only be limited in the tropics just because of that, but you guys in the tropics know that it's a lot hot a lot of the time, so it is difficult
You get to grow other beautiful things.
Yeah, that's right.
That we don't.
That's right.
Like
Okay.
mangoes.
So let's have a little rummage in here and see what we can find, because we've got lots of carrots in here. We probably need to do a bit of thinning.
Well, shall we go for the bigger ones first?
And let's see if we can do a harvest
See if
as
we
well.
can get-
So we'll come in close with the camera. So bring the camera over here and just have a look, because you need to know when are we going to harvest the carrots. And if you have a look here, let's have a look here. Bring the camera right round there. Is that you can see the actual top of the carrot is visible here. And if you can't see it, you just dig down into the soil. Now, if I dig this one beside it here, you can see there's a small carrot forming down here, but that could be growing more. So we're going to leave that one for longer. So it's not very hard. You just got to actually have a look. So we're going to pull this one out. I can see this one's actually got a bit of a side branch happening here. So we just get a firm hold onto it, give it a bit of a wiggle and a shake. Look at that. Look at that.
That's cool.
Isn't that a beautiful looking carrot with a little nose on the end there? Little nose on the end. There's lots of funny photos I've seen online
Yeah.
of people posting pictures of carrots with all sorts of strange things.
Yep.
Yeah, some of them do look a little bit rude, and I won't point to that at all. So, but you will have this happen. Now, if you buy supermarket carrots, they will generally look nice and perfect, and they will never have these bits on the side or
Yeah,
whatever.
they
That
do.
doesn't mean that doesn't happen.
Yes.
What it means is they're discarding those carrots because they're not good enough to sell. And that's one of the things we do with food wastage, which by growing yourself, you're actually knowing there's nothing wrong with this carrot. We can eat this, and so we're going to take
So when
that to
did
the
we
kitchen.
plant that one, Brian, to give people an idea?
Well,
Does it say on our little label?
the label's down there. Remember you did some sowing here,
Yep.
and we didn't have a lot of germination with that sowing?
It's because I did it too thinly.
Yeah, it did thinly. And so I sowed again.
Yes.
And so I didn't put labels in. Sorry, look, I know. But I was just keen to get some seeds in, but it has germinated really well, so we've got
So
some good
generally
seeds.
it takes about 2 months to get a decent sized carrot happening.
Yeah.
But you can leave them in long, as Brian said, and just have a look and see how they're growing. And then if they're looking like they're big enough, then pull them up.
That's right. And then you just twist the top off like this. And then this bit can go straight into your compost to basically return back to the soil again. And then of course just give this a nice wash and it's ready to go inside.
Yep.
We found that with carrots, a good way to store them is to get a plastic container, food grade plastic in the
Okay.
kitchen.
Yeah.
And to store them in a sealed container in the fridge. We've found that's worked really well. In fact, for a lot of our
Yeah.
vegetables, that's how we're storing them now. We have these large containers we got from Woolworths.
Yes, but you don't always have heaps of room in your fridge. So if you have a big crop, another method for carrots is, which I haven't done yet, but it sounds really good, is you can get a wooden box, put some moist sand in it, so not wet, but moist, and then lay your carrots. So put a bit of sand down, put carrots in without the greens on, and then put another layer of sand, more things, and then you can keep them for a long time. So it's kind of mimicking them being in the soil still, because you can leave them in the soil until you're ready to eat. The only problem is sometimes they will start to go to flower and then you get a hard carrot, which is not fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can put them in a box with some sand and then they'll last in a dry, cool place. They'll last a long time.
So that's another way of doing it as well. So let's grab a couple more, harvest a few more in there. So we'll just put that down there. Put that in our basket ready.
Oh, that's a little one.
Here we go, a little one. So you can't always tell by the top. So we've got a
We
fair
haven't
bit
got
of
too
leaf
many big
growth,
ones yet.
but the actual carrot is relatively small. So ideally you want it to be bigger than that, but that's okay.
I don't think we have any huge ones. That's our biggest one, I reckon.
So if I have a look around the front here, I can see one down here. We'll see how this one's going. That's a good, nice carrot. So we've got another double happening here.
So
Again,
it must have hit something.
yeah. Nice carrot there. Give it a good wash. You can break the little end off there as well. It's amazing the difference of what a homegrown vegetable is compared to the supermarket vegetables, which all seem to
You
look
don't
so
have to
perfect.
break off that bit too. Like you see in the restaurants, fancy restaurants, when they serve,
That's true.
they roast it all in one piece still, and then you can eat it all.
That's
so
true.
It's just a habit thing
So
that we do.
let's have a look now. Look
Well,
at the
here's
idea
another one.
of thinning.
Big.
So come in close with the camera.
Look,
Look
that
at
one must have hit a rock
There we go.
or had a bit of movement. So
Slip.
sometimes when you thin too, you can disturb the other ones. So you just got to be very gentle when you're thinning. So that's either hit a rock or got disturbed when thinning.
Of course, but we eat all those anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. So when I sowed across here, I was aiming to try and get a seed every 5 or so centimeters, and you can see I've succeeded a couple of times. So this one here and this one here, but then as we got over to here, at the end of the row, I was probably stretching out to sow the seed, and I've ended up sowing about 10 in the space of where I should have 1. So that's an example of where we need to thin it. Now, normally you would do that earlier on, so these are a
Yeah.
bit big now.
So usually about at 5 centimetre height. So once the leaves are about 5 centimetres, thin them then. And then you can thin them again when they're about 12 to 15 centimetres high.
So I'm just going to pull out some of these excess ones so that we've got enough space for the carrots to grow there. So we'll pull that one out as well. And now those ones will grow into a plumper looking carrot. Now, if you want to get big carrots, that's what you do, is that you space them out evenly. If you're not too worried and you can have a mixture of small carrots and big carrots, what you can do is do the initial thinning, as Kaylene said, when they're 5 centimetres, and then keep pulling them out as baby carrots as you go along, and you can eat those as well. So what about pests and diseases with carrots? What have we got? What issues?
Carrots don't get many pests. We've never had any issues with anything, but there is one thing that you can get, which is carrot fly or maggot, basically, that gets into the root of the carrot and mushes it all up and makes it so to prevent that, the flies are actually attracted to the smell of the carrots. So to prevent that, you can companion plant with things like leeks or onions or
things that
chives,
smell.
garlic, yeah, anything like that, things that smell, so it deters the fly. Another tip, somebody said you can plant thinner, but because when you're thinning, they say that it creates smell of the carrot when you thin, like we've just done. But for us, I don't know, we haven't had an issue, so we just keep planting more rather than and then thin as we go. But yeah, that's the only issue I've found with carrots. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then with carrots, because you're going to keep harvesting, is that you want to keep sowing. And so in the spots, in the gaps in between, you just get your little seed there, you break the ground up again. Now carrots don't need much fertilizer, so they are very happy with very low nitrogen. If you have too much nitrogen, you end up getting a bushy green top and no roots down the bottom.
Because they're a root vegetable, again, like we've discussed in previous videos, it's a root vegetable, so they don't need a lot of nitrogen to grow. So best to grow it after something like cabbage or a heavy feeder, so that has taken up a lot of the nitrogen out of the soil, and then plant it after that.
And so in episode 4 of our veggie classes, we go into that, talking about soil health. I think it's episode 4, we start talking about crop rotation as well in detail, and that explains that a bit more. So what we might do is we'll sow some carrots. I'm just going to wipe off my apron.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, shall I chat about
Tell a joke.
No, I don't do jokes. Brian's the jokester in our house. But just the benefits of carrots. So carrots are great to have lots of vitamins and minerals in them. So the 2 main ones is vitamin A and K. So vitamin A is great for things like improving your eyesight. So it's apparently really good to improve your night vision.
I've got to tell a story there. I've got to interrupt here. So
here we go.
In World War II,
Okay.
when they had just invented radar, and they didn't want the Germans to know about the radar knowledge that we have, and that's how we knew where the planes were and sites were and everything else, is they spread a rumor to the Germans that the pilots, the reason they could see so far was that they were eating a lot of carrots. Which is true.
Which is very true, because they're good for your night vision
But
and eye health in general.
It wasn't because of that, it was because of the radar, that's how they could see miles ahead. But I do feel sorry for the German soldiers at that point.
They would have been fed lots of
carrots. They would have been fed carrots for breakfast, morning tea, lunch, afternoon tea and dinner, and probably woken up during the night and fed more carrots.
Yes.
So that would...
But it's also good for prevention of macular degeneration as well. So it's a great thing for your eye health. And then, it's got vitamin K and full of fiber too, which is brilliant.
Yeah, fiber, of course, is good for...
keeping you regular.
Yeah, keeping you regular. Keeping you regular. I don't know why we call it that. It helps you go. It helps you do number 2s regularly.
Yes.
So I've just dug this over. I'm just using, this is the spade, or the trowel we use. This is the Wilcox large trowel. These are all stainless steel, so you can leave these outdoors and they won't rust. So we just leave these out in the garden and we grab them and keep going.
Or you can hang them and look after them and put them in shed.
Yeah, I like it that you can leave them there and they're red, so you can't lose them in the green. So just bring the camera in close, and we're just going to sow some seed here. And you want to have nice dry hands when you're doing seeding, because otherwise it all sticks to your hand.
Would you like me to get you a towel?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right. I've wiped it on my apron. There we go. Let's tip out some seed here. You can see there's our little seed.
Seed dispenser, Brian.
There we go. I'll just use my hand on this time, and
Okay.
I'm just going to rub my hands together like this, my fingers together I should say, and that way it's probably going to be a little bit hard to see this in the camera, but what I'm aiming to do is to drop a seed every 5 centimeters. So when you get a packet of seeds, this packet of seeds does a lot of carrots.
It does.
And that's all we need to do, and then we're just going to cover that back in again, press it down a little bit. You can make a nice little neat row if you want to put them in neat rows. I haven't worried this time. And then leave it, and in about 10 to 12 days we're going to have little carrots sprouting up, and I nearly tipped a whole lot of seed in the ground. And
just keep it moist while it's germinating. All seeds need to be kept a little moist.
That's very important.
While it's germinating.
Yes. Some of the mistakes I think people make with growing carrots is you've got to have good drainage. And you do want to keep the soil moist. You don't want to go from dry to then soaking to dry, because you'll end up with split carrots doing that as well. So I'll just put that seed in there. We don't want to waste that seed. Very good. Was there anything else we need to disclose?
I'm just trying to think. I think we've
growing
covered.
Carrots. Whenever we put new seeds in, we would generally put up a bit of shade cloth. So we use the steel frames that you've seen in episode 3.
Mainly when it's a bit warmer.
Mainly it's warmer, yeah.
Whereas at the moment we're in, what are we in?
We're in autumn at the moment. But in the summer months, we put the shade cloth up for the first week or so. And it just protects the little seedlings once they've sprouted from the harsh kind of weather. But that's about all it is. There's different varieties of carrots. They come in oranges, purples, yellows.
The girls are coming to check out what you've chucked out, Brian.
Yep, the chickens are here. They're trying to see if there's anything for them. I'm not sure. They don't seem to always like the carrot leaves. They can't peck at it well enough. Give it a go. You can grow them in pots as well. Very well. They grow really well in pots. So you just put a whole lot of carrots seeds in a pot and watch them grow. Very easy. So give it a go. That's carrots for you.